Should I start, sir?
Yes, please.
Akhand Mandalakaram Vyapatam Yen Characharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yen Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama. Meaning that the one who is unbroken, permeated in this whole universe, waving in the constant, the elemental form of that, who manifests within me, gives me a vision. I bow to that Guru. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. I am extremely honored to have the chance to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Amitava Patra, Director, Institute of Nanoscience and Technology, Mohali. Our Director, Sir, Professor Shyam Sundar Patnaik. All the wonderful teachers, staff members, students, and delegates present here or connected online in this Teachers' Day celebration program. Now, may I request our worthy director, Professor Patnaik, to welcome our honorable chief guest, Professor Amitava Patra, by presenting him a shawl. Thank you, sir. Celebrated on the 5th of September, Teachers' Day marks the birth of one of the most popular and influential teacher that the world has ever seen, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who was a legendary teacher, first Vice President of India and the second President of India. This day is celebrated across the country. So as a teacher, however, every single day is a celebration of curiosity, celebration of childhood, creativity, innovation, or should I just say celebration of life itself. We are honored to have with us teachers, mentors, philosophers who have impacted our lives in more than one way, sometimes directly or sometimes indirectly. Ladies and gentlemen, we all believe that every beautiful function or an event begins with the traditional lighting of the lamp. So is this going to be? The word guru is a combination of two words from Persian language, gu and ru, with gu meaning the remover of darkness and the word ru meaning the giver of light. So guru collectively means that the amazing one who brings a person from darkness of evil to the light of reality. Now I request our honorable dignitaries on the dais to proceed forward to light this auspicious lamp of knowledge. We believe this to discard the darkness of the ignorance and welcome the light of knowledge. Thanks to all. Now may I request our director, sir, Professor Patnaik, to give the welcome address to all, to our audience. Sir.
टीचर्स डे के अवसर पर आप सबको नमस्कार and happy Teachers Day to all of you. Esteemed chief guest of the function, Professor Patra, a scientist by profession, a man from cultivation of science, Calcutta, now heading a very premium institute here in our vicinity, that is in Mohali. And cultivation of science, those who are aware, you know, it has a history, it has the development, it has the contribution which is attached to all the glory of scientific glory of this country. The man coming from all the way from that place, और इस जगह में इन एमर्जिंग एरिया का जो लेबोरेटरी दैट नानो साइंस, उसमें एक लीड रोल में बैठे हुए हैं, देश के लिए सिवा नहीं संसार के लिए भी सोच रहे हैं. And I must thank Professor or Dr. Kanika Sharma and Dr. P.S. Rao taking personal initiative, going all the way to Mohali in his absent, convincing उनका पीए को कन्विंस करके और इनको राजी करा के आज लेके आए हैं. तो थैंक यू सो मच बोथ ऑफ यू, एंड ऑल्सो थैंक यू एंड ग्रेटफुल टू यू सर फॉर स्पेयरिंग योर वैल्यूएबल टाइम, क्योंकि आप एक साइंटिस्ट मेंटालिटी से आए हैं, तो उसमें समय का जो ज्ञान और समय का जो उपयोगिता प्लस समय का जो इम्पोर्टेंस, भली बातें आप जानते हैं. सो डॉट एट 3:45 ही वाज हियर, 3:45 तक वो पहुंच गए थे. एंड टोटल इंस्टीट्यूट का तरफ से मैं उनको माफी मंगाऊं, क्योंकि हम लोगों को वो समय का ज्ञान नहीं था कि वो कितना बजे पहुंचने वाले हैं, एंड कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा इनिशियल कोऑर्डिनेशन में लैप्स हो गया था. बट सर मैं अश्योर करता हूँ, इस इंस्टीट्यूट का ये प्रथा रहा है कि हमारा गेस्ट सर्वोपरि होते हैं. ये पहले बार हुआ है हमारे साथ 1967 से हम इस इंस्टीट्यूट में ये कभी नहीं देखे थे जो आज हो गया है. बट आई कैन अश्योर यू दैट ये कभी इस टाइप का इंसिडेंट या नहीं होगा. बट कमिंग टू व्हाट मैडम कनिका इनिशिएटेड, जो हमारा कलीग अभी रिसेंटली शंकरानंद जी आए थे, उनका साथ जब रूबरू हमारा हो रहा था, वो 3 शब्द बोले थे. एक बोले थे अध्यापक, आचार्य, देन गुरु. हाउ अध्यापक इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम आचार्य एंड हाउ आचार्य इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम गुरु. सिर्फ लंबा जर्नी है ये. तो आज का सिनेरियो में जब उनका डेफिनेशन को कुछ जब मैं एनालाइज करके देख रहा था, अध्यापक मीन्स जो अध्ययन करता है पैसा लेके, पे लेके, अध्यापक. यू गेट पे फॉर टीचिंग. जब आचार्य होता है वो भी पैसा लेता है, अध्ययन भी करता है, लेकिन आचरण में वो लेके करता है. तो अध्यापक में वो आचरण वाला कॉन्सेप्ट अपना आचरण में नहीं ला के, लाइक ए प्रोफेशनल आते हैं ना, एक क्लास ले लिया, इतना पैसा दे दो चला जाऊंगा, कोई इमोशनल, कोई एम्पैथी, सिंपैथी कुछ भी अटैच नहीं है उस टाइप का. जब आचार्य बनते हैं आप अपने आप को आचरण में लाते हैं उसको, सो यू लिव इन दैट. उसका बाद फिर वो प्रोफेशनलिज्म है कि आप पैसा भी लेते हैं और पढ़ाते भी, बट यू लिव इन दैट. सो इट इज ए डिफरेंट लेवल अगेन, लेवल 1 टू लेवल 2. जब गुरु बन जाते हो, तो गुरु में कोई लेने देने का नहीं होता है, ये सिर्फ दान. क्योंकि जो हमारा माइथोलॉजी में आप देखेंगे, कभी गुरु को सैलरी नहीं दिया जाता था. इफ आई रिमेम्बर करेक्टली, जब संदीपन जी, गुरु संदीपन जी भगवान कृष्ण पूछे कि क्या मैं गुरु दक्षिणा दूं आपको, मैं थोड़ा फ्रेंड मैं भी टोटल करेक्ट याद आएगा कि नहीं, बट लेट मी ट्राई. तो उनका जो शिष्य सब थे, उसमें मोस्ट इंटेलिजेंट शिष्य भगवान कृष्ण, बलराम जो उनके बड़े भाई, और सुदामा जी थे. तीनों काफी इंटेलिजेंट थे. तो जब भगवान कृष्ण उनको पूछे कि क्या गुरु दक्षिणा चाहिए, तो बोले मेरा जो बेटा घूम गया है उसको लेके मुझे मेरे पास लेके आओ. तो जब गुरु का ये मांग हो गया कि मेरा खोया हुआ बेटा को ढूंढ के लेके आओ, तो दोनों भाई सर्च में चले, इधर उधर सर्च करके. फिर वो शंखासुर जो कंस बोलते थे, वो समुद्र के अंदर में रहता था. तो पता चला कि वो किडनैप करके ले गया इनका बेटा. तो फिर वहां तक भी पहुंचे, समुद्र के अंदर का पानी के अंदर में भी जाके पहुंचे, ढूंढते ढूंढते. मैंने यू सी द मीनिंग इज दैट कि गुरु को दक्षिणा देने के लिए कितना कष्ट होने से भी वो ट्राई कर रहे हैं, कि भगवान कृष्ण भी उसको किए हैं. वहां पहुंच के पता चला कि उनका पास भी वो नहीं है. फिर ढूंढते ढूंढते जमराज के पास पहुंचे कि इनको तो आप रिटर्न करना है हमको. बिकॉज ये गुरु को हम दक्षिणा देना है, गुरु मांगे इनको। सो वहां से भी वो लेके आए, मीन्स द मीनिंग इज दैट जम लोग से लेके आके अपना गुरु दक्षिणा देने का जो एक प्रयास है, जो कष्ट किए होंगे, कि जो चेष्टा किए होंगे, आप सोचो कुछ क्या लेवल है। हम तो सोचते हैं कि भगवान थे इसलिए सब कुछ कर सकते थे, बट द मीनिंग, जो एसेंस इनसाइड दिस इज दैट एक गुरु को अपना जो उसका रिपेमेंट तो पॉसिबल नहीं है, जब उनका मुंह में कुछ निकल गया, कुछ देने के लिए जो आता है, एक शिष्य किस एक्सटेंट तक जा सकता है, ये उसका एक उदाहरण है। तो इसलिए समाज में आज स्पेशली न्यू जनरेशन स्टूडेंट, जो 21st सेंचुरी स्टूडेंट्स हम बोलते हैं, डे वन से उनका गुरु गूगल बन जाता है। तो गूगल वाला टीचर से का साथ compete करना हम फिजिकल टीचर के लिए बहुत टफ है। सो इसमें लकीली वो गूगल वाला टीचर का पास वो पर्सनल केमिस्ट्री अभी तक की वो केमिस्ट्री आया नहीं है। तो कहीं ना कहीं हम लोगों का अगर वेपन हमारा पास है, उसी वेपन को लेके प्ले करना है। अदरवाइज नॉलेज वाइज गूगल टीचर इज मच फार एंड फास्टर देन अस। तो कहीं का ये जो न्यू जनरेशन स्टूडेंट्स को जो डेविएट हो रहे हैं, अपना पथभ्रष्ट बोलते हैं, मैं उस लोगों को बोलते हैं कि ये जो पथभ्रष्ट हो चुके हैं, उनका पथ में लाने के लिए हमारा प्रयास सिर्फ क्लासरूम टीचिंग में नहीं रहना चाहिए। हमारा प्रयास, हमारा जो रिच कल्चर, हमारा माइथोलॉजी, हमारा जो पूर्वजों का जो गरिमा है, कहीं ना कहीं स्टोरी माध्यम में उनको अगर शिक्षा माध्यम में, उपदेश के माध्यम में लाओगे, बोले ये सरमन दे रहे हैं और फिर अपना आईफोन में लगे रहेंगे, आप कुछ बोलते रहो, सुनते नहीं। तो कहीं अगर उनको पबजी गेम का स्टाइल में अगर लेके हम ला पाए इनका सामने, देन लगता है कि वो जो गुरु वाला अप्रोच, गुरु बनेंगे कि नहीं बनेंगे पता नहीं है, लेकिन आचार्य तो बन जाएंगे। अध्यापक से आचार्य तक तो हम अपग्रेडेशन अपने आप को कर लेंगे। तो इट इज टाइम दैट कि हमारा जैसे इंस्टीट्यूट, जो हमारा रोल ही है टीचर्स को ट्रेनिंग करना है, बिकॉज दिस इज आवर प्राइम रोल, हमारा मैंडेट, एज यू नो that we are supposed to train the teachers of technical institutions. So already they are in different level. कोई अध्यापक रूप में आपको मिलेगा, कोई आचार्य रूप में मिलेगा, कोई फिर गुरु रूप में भी मिल सकते हैं। There are dedicated such people who give everything. So उस टाइप का जब heterogeneous mass का साथ हम डील करते हैं, that means हम सिर्फ अध्यापक होकर नहीं मीट कर सकते उनका एक्सपेक्टेशन, हम भी उस लेवल में आना चाहिए। So that is what is not only knowing this subject और अपना डोमेन नॉलेज बढ़ाना, कि रिसर्च बढ़ाना, कि रिसर्च प्रोफाइल बढ़ाना इज नॉट, उसका साथ जो गुरु का एट्रीब्यूट्स, जो हम बोलते हैं एट्रीब्यूट्स, सो दोज एट्रीब्यूट्स यू हैव टू पुट इन योर प्रोफाइल। दैट ओनली आप जो क्लाइंटल सिस्टम से हमारा शिक्षक हमारा पास आते हैं, उनका एक्सपेक्टेशन लेवल को आप मीट कर पाओगे। एंड सब्सिक्वेंटली maybe in this Guru Divas mein or Teachers Day mein, they will say, yes, we have somebody there who can be respected as a teacher. And maybe you'll get in the early morning, happy Teachers Day or Namaskar sir, happy Teachers Day to you. So like today you might have filled up your WhatsApp box with so many things. This is what is our earning. ये हमारा ही संपदा बोलो, संपत्ति बोलो, जो नाम देना है बोलो। दिस इज व्हाट मॉर्निंग में जब आपका व्हाट्सएप मैसेज खोलने के टाइम में देखते हैं 200 मैसेज आया है, द नंबर व्हेन यू सी दैट यू सी ओके 200 व्हाट्सएप व्हेन टू सी। अभी तक मैं आप भी उसको खोला नहीं है ऑनेस्टली, रात में बैठे बैठे करेंगे, बट दिस इज व्हाट इज आवर अर्निंग, दिस इज व्हाट इज द थिंग दैट कि ये रिपेमेंट सोसाइटी से हम लोगों के पास आ रहे हैं, जो हम सोसाइटी को दिए हैं। तो once again, happy Teachers Day to all of you, because we want to listen to a very extraordinary personality. तो उनसे प्रियस कुछ ज्ञान लेंगे। अरविंद जी हमारा विज्ञान भारती के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, वो भी एक टीचर है, सो उनको भी हम हैप्पी टीचर्स डे बोलना चाहते हैं। इज ए मैथमेटिक्स टीचर। एंड हमारा लक्ष्मण जी का है, डॉक्टर लक्ष्मण, आर यू देयर? सो सर, हम लोगों का भी एक मैथमेटिक्स का फैकल्टी है हमारे पास, डॉक्टर लक्ष्मणी, अप्लाइड साइंस में है। ये मैथमेटिक्स का ऑप्टिमाइजेशन टेक्निक में अच्छा काम करते हैं। तो कभी सर आपका साथ उनका मुलाकात कराएंगे हम अभी। So thank you so much. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening talk. You always inspire us with your great words. As rightly said by Garrison, a teacher is a compass that activates the magnets of curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom. As a mark of tradition at NITTTR Chandigarh, this auspicious day to glorify the role of teachers has always been decorated with a lecture by an eminent personality. As in the last celebration, we had Professor Ajay Kumar Sharma amongst us, who is currently posted as director at NIT Delhi. This year, we are honored to have Professor Amitava Patra, Director INST, with us. I extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation on behalf of NITTTR Chandigarh, sir, for accepting our invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor and privilege for me to introduce our chief guest, Professor Amitava Patraji. Professor Amitava Patra is currently working as Director of Institute of Nanoscience and Technology, Mohali, and also a senior professor at the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science under the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Professor Patra received his PhD degree from Jadavpur University in 1993. His research areas include decay dynamics, energy transfer, electron transfer of quantum dots, gold nanoparticles, gold cluster, C dot, semiconducting polymer, up and down materials for photonic applications. Professor Amitava pioneered the study of two-photon spectroscopy and ultra-fast carrier dynamics on the contemporary topic of 2D structures, metal clusters, and quantum dots for light harvesting applications as well. Professor Patra has been actively involved in supervising several innovative projects. On the top of this, he has published more than 247 scientific papers, 5 book chapters, and 2 Indian patents to his credit as well. His research papers have been cited more than 11,850 by peers having H-index of 58. Sir is an advisory board member of Nanoscale Journal of Physical Chemistry and many others. Sir is amongst the world's top 2% scientists with a global rank of 149 in physical chemistry. Professor Amitava Patra has been elected as a Fellow of Optical Society of America and Royal Society of Chemistry, UK. He is a Fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences and the National Academy of Sciences as well. He has been awarded with number of prestigious medals and awards like CNR Rao National Prize, A.V. Ramarao Foundation Prize, Asia Nano Award in Japan, MRSI Material Sciences Annual Prize, CRSI Bronze Medal, Young Scientist Award from Indian Science Congress Association. To add a feather to his cap, he was also awarded with prestigious award of Outstanding Investigator from Department of Atomic Energy Science Research Council for his outstanding research contributions and achievements. Professor Patra has also been appreciated internationally at ITMO University, St. Petersburg, Russia. It is needless to mention that he has contributed immensely to the several academic, infrastructural, and administrative reforms to the system of nanoscience and technology. So with these words, may I request Professor Patra to kindly enlighten the gathering with by his vast ocean of knowledge. Sir.
Is the presentation?
Yeah. So you have the pen drive.
I have given the pen. Okay.
Let me give this.
Yes. Point down. Go down just
Below, sir.
yeah. No, no, the The 5th September.
This one, sir.
This one.
This is the one, sir.
Yeah, this one. It's okay, no? You can see.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
You can check, sir. It is open, sir. You can.
Okay. Very good afternoon, and thanks to Patraji and the team inviting me over here. That time I was not here. I was in US for a couple of days. And first of all, I greet to all the teachers over here for our Teachers' Day. And that is very important day for those who are in academic line. So teachers, he has already explained guru, teachers, everything, right? So I don't want to say all these things, but we know that why it is so important because of the 5th September, because of Dr. Radhakrishnan, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. His vision was different. That's why we are here today, because that time after independence, his vision was that for the growth of country, very important to nurture our young generation, especially the students, with the help of teachers. And teachers has an important role to play for the growth of country, for the make a strong skeleton for the country. Because everywhere teachers are very respected. That's why nowadays Google teachers. Yes, absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because that's why in ancient time, all the time, students always used to stay in Guru's house, right? And we are now in virtual mode, so huge difference. So that's why maybe sometimes value has reduced. That they cannot penetrate the student, that what is the value of education, not only for the get the degree and all these things, positions, but important thing is the value, why it is important for our country, for making your character. That is very important. Honesty is very important. That all the sacrifice. Nowadays we are not accepted that sacrifice part. Even if you ask your kid to sacrifice your chocolate to your brother, they will not sacrifice. So that value, I think, is missing right now. So in our generation here also, most of the in our generation, so that time we had that kind of value. So being a teacher, we have a lot of responsibility that is very important for our future growth of our country and for our next generation. So with this, today is the best day, I think, because last couple of talks I'm giving after 15 August for tribute our Indian scientists in India before independence and after independence. So this is very important. Maybe most of you know this history of Indian science, but still I'll try to tell about the contribution of Indian science, not only the contribution of our other people, politicians. And this is very important for those who are in academic field. So the saga of struggle for Swatantra through the science is very important thing, because Swatantrata is very important. That time people are publishing or people are very active on that. The history of Indian science is very important for the students, for the institute, because that recognize the past institute, past universities, and that lesson help us to build a new institute or for future growth of our country. That is, history is very important for every aspect, not only scientific history, for everywhere. because their ethos, their principle, their values, their character, that will help us to grow it in institute or the flourish with the success and the strategies. Now, in education policy, new education policy, if you look at very carefully, there are two important things are there. One is multidisciplinary research, other is skill human resource. Because if you compare with the China and India, our population is close to China. But China is almost developed country, India is developing country. The main reason is that we don't have a skill human resource. We have human resources. Because for the growth of any nation is very important. You have to have a scientific knowledge at the same time. You have to have a skill human resource. That is lacking. So that's why, because you are in engineering field, you always we produce the skill human resource. But in general field, we are lacking that kind of thing because they have some basic knowledge, but they could not apply for their practical life. This is another problem in Indian system. So that's why I always emphasize not only human resource, skill human resource is very important. Now I'll talk about the modern Indian science or modern science, not I'll talk about the ancient science because there is a disclaimer, otherwise I could not cover it up. Now the question is the development of modern science, why it happens. If you look at the history, the physics got recognized as a science in 17th century. And in the end of the 18th century, chemistry came up as a subject after Mendeleev. And after Darwin, in the 19th century, biology as a subject got recognized. So you see probably almost 100 years gap. That's why if you look back in the Indian history, first, before independence, India was very prominent scientists, those who are doing physics. That time only very few people know about the chemistry, right? So in Indian modern science, during the British time, we are very much fortunate that some extraordinary person born in 19th century, that is J.C. Bose, C.V. Raman, Ramanujan, etc. And they are legendary. They are not outstanding scientists only. Outstanding scientists, you can explain that those who have huge contribution on the science. But these are legendary because they are not only doing the good science, they have done huge contribution to the society. That is very important. Because not only doing their selfish science, they are doing for the society. That's why they are unforgettable. And in 20th century, there are a couple of brilliant scientists born in India. They call the institute builders. Because after independence, we need institute, different kind of research institute, different kind of technological institute, right? So 20th century, lot of Homi Bhabha, Sarabhai, all these people came up in 20th century. Now in the British time, because you know the policies, that is 1957. So British always considered the Indian people, no, they don't have a brain, they cannot do the good science. They always established some institute that time, mostly survey institute, no research institute, no university, to exploit India. That where is the ores and where is that, everything, what kind of mines is there, everything for that survey they established. Survey of India, that is 1767. 1781, that Calcutta Madrasa, that is first education institute, that is by Hastings, governor of that time, East India Company. 1784, Asiatic Society of Calcutta, that is still in Calcutta right now. Then Botanical Garden, I don't know why they have established. In 1791, Banaras Sanskrit College, not Banaras Hindu University, with J. Duncan to promote the Hindu laws and the philosophy. That time they thought that we should do something. In 1818, that is the trigonometry survey of India, again to map whole India, where is the resource and everything. The first education started in India, that is 1817, by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. Raja Ram Mohan Rai established Hindu College, that is now Presidency College in Calcutta. And in 1854, the government was taken and renamed, that is the president, still in Calcutta. 1824, Sanskrit College at Calcutta, that is British funded. And 1857, three different universities, one Calcutta, Madras, and Mumbai University. But that time there is no science classes. After 60 years, Calcutta University started postgraduate teaching and research. After 60 years, that is 1970, because of the Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee. That time he was the then VC of Calcutta University. Then in 1904, Association for Advanced Scientific and Industrial Research Education. 1906, drawn society, that is National Council of Education, slowly they build up. 1908, Calcutta Mathematical Society still is there. 1920, the Institute of Engineers, that is in Calcutta in Gokhale Road. Now, Ashutosh Mukherjee is a huge impact of Indian education system. He is a prolific Bengali educator, jurist, barrister, and mathematician. The first Indian who published a scientific paper in journal in 1881. First paper he has published in mathematics. First student, that is another interesting thing you can notice. He got the dual degree in mathematics and physics from Calcutta 1885 and 1886. I don't know which university has given now dual degree, but that time they have given the dual degree, right? So, and he was a judge of Calcutta High Court. He was the VC of Calcutta University 2 years term and fifth 2 years terms also. Mukherjee was responsible for the foundation of Jadavpur University and Bengal Engineering College, that is B, and College of Science, that is Science College we call in Calcutta University, that is 1914. Now, this is the Calcutta University, and he was the Vice Chancellor, Vice President of Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. I'll come later on. And he was the President of Indian ISS Cultivation of Science. In 1910, he was appointed as the President of Imperial, that is called National Library right now, and he has donated 80,000 books, personal collection to that library, that is called National Library. And he was the President of Indian Science Congress, first inaugural President, Indian Science Congress in 1914. So you can see he was not only the VC, he has contributed a lot for the society. And he was the President of Asiatic Society. And for that reason, the government of India issued a stamp on his birth and centenary in 1964. Now, 1916, that BHU came up with the Annie Besant and obviously Pandit Madan Mohan Malabhya. And then Mysore University, Patna University, Osmania University, Lucknow University, and Delhi University, then is going on. And that time, there is a private universities that is in by Rabindranath Tagore in Santiniketan in around 1921, around that time. So that was that time the concept was private university. So now, so far, there is no research institute in India up to that. That this is the Cultivation of Science building, Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. Actually, my sitting room is there, the narrow, that thing. So this is the first Asian research institute that time before independence, right? And Mohandalar Sarkar was the founder for Indian Cultivation of Science. And it is now funded by the DST government of India. Now, who is the Mohandalar Sarkar? Mohandalar Sarkar was a practitioner, was the MD, social reformer and propagator for scientific studies in 19th century. His dream was to establish a research institute similar to the Royal Society of London, where the Indian could do independent research on basic science, and he established this cultivation of science in 1876. That is in Bhowaj, and now it moved to the Jadavpur, just opposite to the Jadavpur University. So now it is famous because C.V. Raman worked there and got the Nobel Prize from that same research institute. So he did second MD graduate from the Calcutta Medical College from India 1863. He started campaigning the first Indian Scientific Research Institute in 1870, but established in 1876, but not receiving any fund from the British government. After a couple of years, 1904, up to that, there is no research work, only the lectures and invited lectures and these things. In 1907, C.V. Raman joined there as a researcher and received a Nobel Prize in 1930. There is another research institute, that is Indian Institute of Science, IISc Bangalore. That is also deep university. And because you know history, the Swami Vivekananda once went to Chicago with Jamshedji Tata from Japan. That time he asked Jamshedji Tata that where you can contribute for Indian Indigenous Science Institute in India. That is, he suggested in 1893. And Swami Vivekananda's that dream actually came to reality in 1908 when Indian Institute of Science was established at the initiative of Jamshedji Tata. Still now people are talking about the Tata Institute, and it was supported by the Maharaja of Mysore because he has donated 350 acres of land to the Bangalore to set up the institute. So these are the two big institutes that time. Now the major Indian contribution in the 20th century. One is J.C. Bose, Ramanujan, Raman, Bose means S.N. Bose, Meghna Saha, and Chandrasekhar. That's why that is very important to understand, or to biographies of the renowned scientists of India are very great interest, since they paint the landscape of the time represented along with the account of scientific endeavor with the scientific concept. Now J.C. Bose. J.C. Bose is the father of Indian scientific research in India at that time in subcontinental. And Mott once, the Nobel laureate Mott once described that J.C. Bose was at least 60 years ahead of the time. He was born actually in Bangladesh 1858. Then he came to Calcutta, graduated from St. Xavier's College, then got the Typhus Fellowship, went to Cambridge, and got the degree graduation. After that, he came back to Calcutta, joined as a Presidency College as a professor, and set up a very small lab near to the bathroom at the Presidency College. Even this limited condition, he obtained the BSc degree from the University of Cambridge of his remarkable research. J.C. Bose was brilliant because he has developed different kind of field like physics. So he has developed different kind of branches. That time there is no biophysics knowledge, botany, instrumentation, literature. He invented the solid-state diode laser. And in 1895, J.C. Bose demonstrated to the world that electromagnetic wave can penetrate the whole barrier of walls, and that can transmit and receive the long distance because of the electromagnetic wave. And that developed the radio, today's radio, telephone, telegraph, anything. And he moved from the physics to the biophysics, and he invented that the life of a plant and electrophysiological movement, and he was established plant and animal have a essential and the same fundamental physiological mechanism. In 1894, he used the crystal for radio wave detector that is microwave detection. And in 1901, he first filed a patent of that crystal detector, because now we are IPR division, everything we talked about. But in 1901, he filed a patent of this detector. And a first public demonstration of microwave transmission in Calcutta. That time, the technological thing, right? Not only the basic science. That is in town hall in the Calcutta. His demonstration was the foundation of the technology used today for mobile technology, radar, satellite, radio, television, Wi-Fi, remote control, countless, any kind of application that he has done. So Bose has established that. Bose has established that Jagadish Chandra Bose Institute, that is the Bose Research Institute, still in Calcutta, that is in 1917. It is now again in another DST. So they are not only work for themselves for the good science, they established by using their own money to the Bose Institute. This is still there. And he was a founder director, and it is now funded by the government of India, DST. Now C.V. Raman. C.V. Raman is the first Asian scientist, not Indian scientist. Asian scientist to win the Nobel Prize in 1930. And Raman used this instrument. It is still, if you go to the Cultivation of Science, Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, you will find out that instrument. It's a part of the instrument, a very simple, innovative instrument which lead to discovery of the Raman effect. That is in 28th February 1928, he first published that work in Indian Journal of Physics, that Raman effect. That's why just after 2 years, he got the Nobel Prize in 1930. And we celebrate the Science Day, National Science Day, because of that effect, Raman effect announcement. That is 28th February 1928. He was born in Tiruchirappalli. After master degree, MA, he joined Indian Finance Service, because all of you know. Then he came to Calcutta as a assistant account general. Then one day, because GPA is very close to the Bowbazar, he walked down. Then he said there is a research institute, Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. And he went there. He told that I want to do some research at the age of 19. And then he joined there and left the job. And he published first paper at the age of 18, scientific paper in Philosophical Magazine. In 1917, he got the Palit Professorship of Physics in Science College. That time, Asutosh Mukherjee was the VC. The Palit Professorship, there is two conditions. One is you have to teach. Another thing, you have to have a foreign degree. But C.V. Raman, he has no degree of foreign degree, and he is not interested to teach. He wants to do research only. But that time, VC was Asutosh Mukherjee, and he told, okay, you can join as a Palit Professor. He break down the rule actually. Then 28 February, with the Krishnan, his good student, discovered the Raman effect, and in 1930 he got the Nobel Prize. He established another new journal. This is Indian Journal of Physics, that is in Cultivation of Science, that is first physics journal. So again, in ACS in 1998, ACS means American Chemical Society, announces the Raman effect is an international historical chemical landmark because of the Raman effect, Raman spectroscopy, right? So he established again another institute, that is Raman Institute in IIC Bangalore, and in 1948. And this institute, scientific research located in Bangalore, this is now funded by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He always said that Indian minds is not inferior, but we lack is courage and spirit of the victory. That is very important thing. We don't have a courage to fight. We are always submissive, and we don't have that kind of boldness. So next person is the Ramanujan. That is 1887 he born, and monumental contribution for the number theory. This is before independence. So at the age of 17 years old, Ramanujan has done excellent, outstanding work on Bernoulli number theory, elliptical modular equation, And he published in 1915 one paper, but he published in 20 paper in after 1 year, 1915. 1914 only one paper. So this is the equation, that is the theta equation, Ramanujan's theta equation. Very lies the heart of the string theory of the physics, and very Ramanujan theta theory. And because of his huge contribution at a very early age, he died. So Prime Minister Manmohan Singh announces that December 22nd, because of his birthday, so would be the celebrated at the National Mathematics Day on 125th birth anniversary of Ramanujan. And nowadays DST has a Ramanujan fellowship also. Then again another legend is Meghnasa. This Meghnasa, because he is very well known and well outstanding scientist because of the Saha Institute and Saha equation. He was FRS and first director of cultivation of science and founder of Saha Institute of Nuclear Physics and INSA, that is INSA in Delhi. He was a Khoira professor and he moved to Allahabad University and established the physics department. Then after a couple of years he came back again as a college professor to the Calcutta University when Shama Prasad Mukherjee was VC. Shama Prasad Mukherjee is the son of Ashutosh Mukherjee. And he was that time the MP of that government. And even Saha that time got the 60,000 rupees from the Tata Trust to make a cyclotron center initiated in nuclear physics for doing nuclear. That time from Tata sponsored 60,000 rupees. You cannot believe it. So he has done a lot of contribution in physics, especially a lot of Maxwell equation, limit of interference, theory of electricity, on the dynamics of electrons, pressure. He published a couple of papers with S.N. Bose, mechanical electrodynamical property of electrons. There's a lot of huge contribution. He's supposed to get the Nobel Prize because of the Saha's equation. But Saha is founder again the National Academy of Science at Allahabad, Indian Physical Society, Indian Science News Agency, and he was a planning commission committee, National Planning Commission committee member. He was elected as a first Lok Sabha member also. Very interesting. He was participating of DVC to stop the flood in Bengal. And he stated scientists are often accused of living in the ivory tower, not traveling their mind with realities and apart from their association with political movement in their juvenile years. I had lived in ivory tower up to 1930, but science and technology are as important for the administration nowadays as law and order. I have gradually glided into politics because I wanted to do some use of the country in my own humble way. So that is nice statement by giving. He established the Saha Institute of Nuclear Physics in Calcutta in 1949 and Shama Prasad Mukherjee as a Minister of Civil Supply and Industry that time Nehru's National Cabinet. So this is another institute builder, not only great scientist. S.N. Bose, Satyendranath Bose is known for, he is a student of J.C. Bose and P.C. Roy. He is a well-known mathematician, physicist, theoretician. He is known for Bose-Einstein condensation, quantum mechanics, and he has interest in philosophy, arts, literature, and music. On his name, there is another government has established a research institute that is S.N. Bose Center for Basic Science in Salt Lake that is funded by the government of India, that is Department of Science and Technology. He worked with Madame Curie, he worked with Einstein, and he published a lot of good papers and he is known as Bose-Einstein equation. He got elected FRS and Satyen Bose at the age of 80 he died. And he is several times he is nominated for Nobel Prize, but unfortunately there is no Nobel Prize that time. Now, so far we talked about the physics, but Prafulla Chandra Rai is considered to be father of the chemistry of India, first chemistry in India. Prafulla Chandra born in Bangladesh, came to Calcutta. Then after graduation, he joined as a graduate student. And PC Roy is mainly inorganic chemist. He is doing metal nitride, and that is lot of double perovskite system. That is the first time he has done the chemistry thing. So Roy's important achievement was synthesis to double displacement ammonia between ammonium chloride and silver nitrate. That is different, but most important contribution in Indian science because the Bengal chemicals. In 1901, that time he established first Indian pharmaceutical company by his own money by 700 rupees. So Indian first pharmaceutical company by Bengal Chemical and Pharmaceutical Limited, which is still there by Acharya Jagadish Prafulla Chandra Ray. And this is the first step towards self-reliance. Now we are talking about the self-reliance, right? So that time, that kind of visionary there. An Indian Chemical Society again established by Prafulla Chandra Ray, and he was the first president. Now, Indian Academy of Science before independence, the three major academics in Indian science before independence, one is Indian Academy of Science, that is in Bangalore by C.V. Raman established. National Academy of Science in India was founded by the Meghnasa, that is 1930 in Allahabad. Indian National Academy of Science again at Delhi 1935 by Meghnasa. So three different academics in India. After independence 1947, the most important contribution by the Ramanujan, that is the biological crystallography, SNJ, that doctor from Calcutta for the colloidal research, CKN, Patel for the carbon dioxide laser, HN Khurana for genetic code, A. Salam for particle physics, and total number of FRS in India around 40. So after independence, government of India has taken initiative to take a higher education in science and technology in India. So first, to promote the technical education, the Institute of IIT Kharagpur was established in 18th August 1951 in West Bengal in Hijli jail. Then 1950, late 50, then IIT Mumbai, Madras, Kanpur and Delhi. 1960s, all the RE colleges, that time RE, now the NITs, all regional engineering colleges. In 1960, again, ISRO was established. That time, the government of India has passed 4 policies document in science and technology. One is Science Policy Resolution, that is 1958. Technology Policy, that is 1983, Science Technology Policy 2003, Science Technology Innovation Policy 1913, and recently the New Education Policy. So these are the only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scientific policy passed by the government of India. So who are the architect for the science and technology after independence? One is S.S. Bhatnagar for the CSIR labs. He was the first DG CSIR, M.N. Saha for first director of ISS, and SIMP, P.C. Mohandalar for the Statistical Institute, G.C. Ghosh, Gyan Ghosh for first director of Kharagpur IIT and was the director of IC Bangalore, Homi Bhabha for Tata Fundamental Research and Atomic Energy. Now, PC Mohandalar is very, because new statistician. This is the Calcutta Indian Statistical Institute established, and 2006 was celebrated National Statistical Day. And Mohandalar is very famous for his Mohandalar equation and model, where people are using to calculate for different central statistical organizations they are used. And he used a journal, started a journal that is called Songkha. In Bengali word Songkha means number. So K.S. Krishnan, another person who is a student of C.V. Raman, he worked at Cultivation of Science. Then he went to the Dhaka University in Physics department with Satyen Bose, worked there. That time there is no division actually. Then he came back to Calcutta and joined as a Mohandalar Sarkar chair professor at Cultivation of Science. Then Professor Bhatnagar invited him to be a founder director of NPL, National Physical Laboratory, in 1947, that is the National Physical Lab. He worked on magnetic material, on crystals. He was a pioneer on the Zibin for Raman effect also. He has a huge contribution for this. Shanti Sarup Bhatnagar again is a renowned figure from here. He was extraordinary planner, architect for chain of national laboratories. So he was born in Behra in Punjab, now in Pakistan. After PhD in physics, he did PhD in chemistry. Then he joined to BHU, then come to Punjab University on magnetic chemistry person. He is a fellow of Royal Society. And now we know Shanti Sarup Bhatnagar Award because of his name. So Council of Science CSIR Lab, he was established in 26 September. That's why CSIR Day. So Bhava is another extraordinary people. This is real Bhatnagar, and he stated one line that my success will not depend on what A and B thinks of me. My success will be what I make of my work. That is very important statement, that what people are thinking, you don't care. Tata Institute of Fundamental Research was established by him, and then again Bhava Atomic Research Center. This is Indian premier nuclear research center. That is in 1954. There's a huge contribution of Indian SNT. He was born in Mumbai and a very rich family person, and he then went to the ISC Bangalore to do PhD. Then he went to the Cambridge, then came back, and he's proposed the idea of setting up Atomic Energy Commission. He talked to the Prime Minister in 1964. Baba was primarily responsible for setting up the National Committee for Space Research with Sarabhai Vikram. So then unfortunately, at the age of 57, he died in a plane accident in Mont Blanc in 24th January 1966. Thus, country honored him by naming the Atomic Research Center in Mumbai as the Bhava Atomic Research Center. So this is contribution in work. Again, another person, another SNT architect for India, that is Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. He born in Ahmedabad and then studied to Cambridge, came back, and under the C.V. Raman he worked sometimes in ISC Bangalore. Sarabhai set up the first rocket launching station in Thumba. That is huge contribution. That's why all the satellites, all these things, we can use it. Near the Trivandrum with the support of Homi Bhabha. First flight was launched in 1963. Indian Space Research Organization, that is 1962, with his major achievement. And Padma Vibhushan is there, so it's okay. So another research institute, that is the Physical Research Laboratory, was founded in 1947 by Vikram Sarabhai. That is called PRL Lab. That is in his name. So now Ramachandran, in very recent time, because of his Ramachandran plot, he is supposed to get the Nobel Prize in 20th century because he was brilliant scientist. He is from the ISC Bangalore. He is doing pioneer work in the protein structure, and where the faculty colleague at the molecular photophysical biophysical unit in the institute. So he was born in Ernakulam. C.V. Raman was well known. C.V. Raman was well known for this thing. First, triple helical structure he established. Ramchandra plot is known. He is several times nominated for the Nobel Prize for the fundamental issues. Now Wadia, another person, is a pioneer for SNT. So he was a Geological Survey of India, established a first Indian scientist to work in the Geological Survey of India. He was instrumental in the establishment of Indian Institute of Himalayan Geology in Dehradun, was appointed as honorary director. Now Wadia Institute of Technology, Institute of Himalayan Geology, that is there. This is another government institute, that is DST, under DST. So actually he was geology, BSc degree in botany and geology. but he was self-taught geology as a degree in geology, because that time geology only two university, one is Calcutta University, other is Madras University, but he was the renowned geologist, and that is the contribution for Indian Science and Institute he built. That is another two important person from here, and one is Ruchi Ram Sahani. That is a Punjabi scientist, educationalist, mainly educationalist in the Punjab, pioneering for meteorological and physicist, and he was a father of renowned paleobotanist, that is Birbhai Sahani. That is another Sahani, right? So another person, he stayed in America, but he is supposed to get the Nobel Prize because of the optical fiber research, that is Narendra Singh Kapani. So he is supposed to be get the Nobel Prize, but he missed the Nobel Prize for optical fiber. That is another Billboard Sahani. This is the Billboard Sahani Institute of Paleobotany, that is in Lucknow. That is again DST Institute. These are the huge contribution for the botanist. He was the botanist. So Billboard Sahani is believed a good researcher, good teacher, and he was born in Punjab, now in Pakistan, that is Bera. Now then he moved to India also. The last scientist, that is APJ Abdul Kalam, we call scientist come technologist, because he is the 11th president of India and referred to be a people's president. He was born in Rameswaram. He was joined as a DRDO scientist. Then he moved to ISRO and project director of SLV-3 and Rohini satellite. He was played an important role. He's a very good mentor, actually, a very good mentor. If you go to DRDO, everybody will very happy with Kalam. And Pogran 2, that is his huge contribution 1998. Kalam urged always scientific community to work together. This is another problem in Indian community, that we should work together. Always in different department, different head, different teachers, they have some issues. So seamless integration of science and society is very important. That is lacking in India system. That's why he always say that if you salute your duty, you no need to salute you anybody, even not in director. But if you pollute your duty, then you have to salute everybody. That is very important thing, and we have to learn this thing. And that he always said that very good people is needed, like that kind of people for our top administration, for running good research institute or academic institute. That kind of vision, that kind of generosity is very important and nowadays for the India. Now I'll talk couple of slides, 2, 3 slides is here. So what we have learned from the old history. This is the history just I discuss about. You maybe probably know everything. But today it's our tribute to all the great people, all the great teacher, all the great scientists. Today is the right day because today is the Teachers' Day, right? They are our teachers. So for the scientists, what kind of, if you go through all the big scientists, eminent scientists, you will find out couple of things. They are very creative. They are very original, right? They are very imagination or intuition is very important for a good scientist, good teachers. Persistence is very important, because one day you are a very good student, next day you are not a good student. So persistent like a cricket player. So persistent is very important. One day you will get the century, next day zero. It's no way. So ability to collaborate. This is again very important thing, because that's why now people are working together as a team. So that is very important. Breadth and depth of the knowledge of your subject is important. And most important thing, I believe, the honesty is very important, because most of the time for shortcut, we want to get something, we going to get the position. We are very dishonest, frankly speaking. Sometimes that should be careful, because our ancestors, they are very honest people, right? So we should concentrate on the honesty, and I am very much particular about the honesty. That's why we have to face a lot of problem. Honesty has a lot of problem because this is a very tough life. Because smooth life, smooth road is dishonesty. So if you are too much honest, then faculty will not like you. Nobody will like you. So this is, but we should follow this kind of. This is the value. This is our duty. All the teachers teach our students that honesty is very important. So life of a scientist or any academician is very, very stressful. All the time there is a stress for new research, new work, new innovation. All the time life में rejection आ जाता है, because if you are not rejected, you will not climb the top of the mountain. Because if it is a very smooth life, then there is no way. So rejection is everywhere. You will get rejected from your friends, from your peers, from your colleagues. Every time you will be rejected. You are not the good person. But rejection is important to learn many things negative. So intense competition nowadays because of the lot of facilities, all the institute. That time only couple of issues, and we should encourage our encouragement and professionalism is very important for the intense competition. And politics, that is very important, and I like that politics, because you know why? Because in every aspect, every sphere, if you face the politics, if you know how to survive the politics, everywhere it would be. But in research field, we have a lot of time rejected because of the politics, because of the peers. So what? But you have to learn how to earn and how to overcome that politics. That is your trick. That is your. If you are sitting no because of the politics, I don't get award. I don't. Nobody cares, because you have to learn. And balancing between the family or work is very important, because sometimes you could not balance your family and workplace. That is very important for peace of mind for you. And that's why the creativity comes always in subconsciously. So always you dream, always you think, sometimes someday some idea will come up with your thing. So new idea often seems to pop up when your mind is idling, when you are sleeping, something it will come out. So it is always, it's a continuous process. You cannot do kind of research, oh, come to the lab, start some work, you will do. No, it's a continuous process. Everything has a continuous process. So choosing research project is important thing, that what kind of work you should do for the societal or translational research or basic research. This is up to you, but you should be excel on your field in which work you are doing. No problem. In arts, literature, everything, every field is highest degree of things. So great contribution rarely comes from adding just we are doing something else. That should not be. Young scientists should admire their becoming established within the particular discipline, find the project and could be identified is your. And right place always important, because intellectual people are very important, because when you work, when you do something, your people, surrounding people should be intellectual. They should be always talk some positive, not negative thing. You always not criticizing. You always avoid the negative people, because negative people always cluster together. They will kill your full energy. So that's why I try to avoid the negative thinker. Always positive thinking. जो होगी तो होगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, but full energy होना चाहिए. So under resource financially now India is not bad in condition. If you have a right project proposal, right idea, India government is giving this. So last slide is that important point is for researcher or anything. Innovative work is very important in any field of science, arts, literature, anything. Whether you can compete globally or Indian context, you have to always context with your peers or internationally or nationally. That is important to bring out the translational potential. That is very right now for India is very important for societal impact, not only the basic research. So successful and impactful research or work is very important nowadays. If you can contribute delta X amount, that is good. So finally, the scientific knowledge and skill human research is very important for the scientific growth of our country. To make a great future in India, the whole secret lies in organization, accumulation of power, and coordination of wills being one mind is the secret of the society. That is stated by the Vivekananda. So with this, the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. Thank you very much.
We have just learned the contributions made by our Indian scientists who achieved global recognition in the world of science and technology. Not only make our lives easier, but also feel us proud to be a teacher. It is really a proud privilege to have you, Amitava sir, and more so to hear your words of wisdom. Thank you so much. An attitude of gratitude brings great things. Before I call upon Dr. P.S. Rao to deliver the formal vote of thanks, I want to dedicate few lines to all of you, as each one of you is a teacher in one way or the other. चारों तरफ हो खुशियों की लहर, चारों तरफ हो खुशियों की लहर, हर तरफ चलता गुनगान रहे, बरसे असीम अनुकंपा ईश्वर की, आपके होंठों पर सदा मुस्कान रहे। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप सबका इस सभा भवन में आने के लिए और हमारे साथ ऑनलाइन कनेक्ट होने के लिए। और शुक्राना परवरदिगार उस शक्ति का जो हम सबके गुरुओं के रूप में विराजमान है। बेअंत शुक्राना। थैंक यू वन एंड ऑल।
Hello. Respected Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Amitava Patraji, Director INST Mohali, and respected Director Dr. S.S. Patnaik, Deans, Head of the Departments, Faculty and Staff, and my dear students. A very happy Teachers' Day to all of you. I welcome all of you for this final vote of thanks. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks on this occasion to all the dignitaries and delegates present over here. First of all, I would like to thank the director who gave this opportunity to us to organize this Teachers' Day function, and it is a matter of honor for all of us. I would like to thank you, our chief guest, Professor Amitava Patraji, also, who honored this function with these inspirational words and motivational thoughts, and also explained the contribution of Indian scientists in pre and post-independence era and their ideas for the successful journey. On behalf of the entire institute, I would like to thank our director because this program cannot be completed without his presence and inspiring words and motivational words. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this. Also, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the guests present today and also the beloved audience participants from various states for making this function as a grand success. I would also like to thank the professor in charges of Media Engineering Department, Estate Department, and Mess and Canteen, Guest House, Vehicle Maintenance Department, and their supporting staff also for their keen work in organizing this function. A very special thanks to Media Engineering Department, who have made the complete preparation of this program, providing Google Meet link and audio video conference during the sessions and make the program a very successful. Thank you wholeheartedly for this. Once again, I thanks one and all who present here. Finally, I would like to say, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Thank you very much. Now I invite everyone to have a cup of tea outside the auditorium. Thank you so much.
सर ये पेन ड्राइव बस ये